The warning lights flashed red across the control panel, gripped the steering controls as his small research ship shook violently. Something had gone terribly wrong with the navigation system. The stars outside his window spun in wild circles as the ship tumbled through space. "Emergency systems activate," shouted. His voice echoed in the empty cabin. He was alone, as he had been for the past 3 months. Solo research missions were always risky, but the pay was good and loved the silence of deep space. Now that silence felt like a death sentence. The ship's computer spoke in a calm voice that did not match the situation. "Hull breach detected. Life support failing. Recommend immediate evacuation." "Evacuate to where?" muttered. There was nothing out here. He had been studying mineral deposits on remote moons, far from any human settlement. The nearest colony was weeks away at faster-than-light speed. The moon's surface rushed up to meet him, pulled hard on the controls, trying to slow his descent. The ship's emergency thrusters fired, but it was not enough. He was going to crash. The impact threw against his safety harness. Metal screamed, glass shattered, then everything went dark. When opened his eyes, pain shot through his entire body. He was still strapped in his seat, but the ship was on its side. Smoke filled the cabin. His left leg was trapped under a collapsed panel. Blood ran down his face from a cut on his forehead. He reached for the emergency kit, but his arm would not move right. Broken ribs, probably. Maybe a fractured arm. Coughed and tasted copper. The distress beacon. He needed to activate the distress beacon. His fingers found the emergency panel. He pressed the button. A small light blinked once, then died. The beacon was damaged. No one would find him. No one even knew where to look. Laughed bitterly. He had always known solo missions might end like this, but knowing and experiencing were very different things. Hours passed, or maybe days, drifted in and out of consciousness. The cold was getting worse. His suit's heater was failing. He could see his breath in the air. At least the pain was fading. That was probably a bad sign. He thought about his sister. She had begged him not to take this mission. Too dangerous, she had said, too far from help. She had been right. Closed his eyes. He was so tired. A sound woke him, metal scraping against metal. Was that the ship settling, or was his mind playing tricks? Light flooded the cabin, squinted against the brightness. A figure stood in the new opening torn into the ship's hull. The figure was not human. It was smaller than a human, with 4 arms and blue-gray skin. Its head was rounded with large, dark eyes. The creature wore a simple suit that looked patched and old. Tried to speak, but only a wheeze came out. The creature moved quickly into the ship. It made soft clicking sounds like speech, but its translator was damaged. The creature knelt beside him and pulled out a small medical scanner. Its 4 hands worked efficiently, checking his injuries. Watched as the creature's face shifted into what might have been concern. It clicked more rapidly, as if making a decision. Then it began to work. The creature carefully lifted the panel off its leg. It pulled out medical supplies from a pack on its back. The supplies looked old and limited, but the creature used them with practiced skill. It sealed its wounds with a device that hummed softly. It injected something into his arm that made the pain recede like a tide going out. Over the next hour, the creature stabilized him. It set his broken bones. It gave him water and something that might have been food. The substance tasted strange but was too grateful to care. The creature connected a small oxygen tank to his suit. Then it did something that surprised him. It took off its own suit's secondary oxygen reserve and connected that too. Grabbed the creature's arm. He shook his head, trying to communicate. The creature was giving up its own safety for him. The creature gently removed his hand and made a gesture that seemed to mean, "It's okay." Then it went to work on the distress beacon. Days passed. Learned the creature's name was Kiva, or at least that was the closest his damaged translator could manage. Kiva came every day, sometimes twice a day. Each time Kiva brought supplies, food, water, medical treatments, equipment to repair the beacon. Realized Kiva's supplies looked worn and scarce. Every item Kiva gave him was something Kiva needed too. This was not a rescue by a wealthy civilization. This was sacrifice by someone who had very little to give. Tried to ask where Kiva came from. Through gestures and broken translation, he understood Kiva lived on a ship nearby. A colony ship. Kiva's people were traveling through this region of space. Why? Asked one day, gesturing to everything Kiva had done. Why help me? Kiva paused in its work on the beacon. Through the damaged translator, a few words came through clearly. You need, that is, enough reason. Felt something catch in his throat. He had worked with many species in his career as most followed the same pattern. They calculated cost versus benefit. They asked what they would gain. They negotiated. Kiva had asked for nothing, expected nothing, did not even seem to think helping was a choice worth questioning. On the 20th day, the beacon suddenly lit up green. Kiva made a clicking sound that might have been satisfaction. It had worked. Grabbed Kiva's arm. Thank you. When my people come, I will make sure you are rewarded. My government, my family, we have resources. Whatever you need, whatever your people need. Kiva's translator managed a few more words. No need, reward you were, dying, that is, all reason needed. Please, said, at least stay, meet them, let me introduce you, you saved my life. But Kiva was already gathering its tools. It made a gesture that seemed like farewell. Before could protest more, Kiva climbed out through the hull breach and was gone. 2 days later, human rescue ships arrived. Was lifted from the wreckage, rushed to medical facilities, treated by the best doctors. He would survive. He would make a full recovery. But Kiva was gone. The rescue team searched the area but found no sign of any other ships. Kiva's people had moved on, leaving no trace, asking for no recognition. Lay in the medical bay as the rescue ship jumped to faster-than-light travel. He stared at the ceiling and thought about Kiva's words. You were in need, that is reason enough. Such a simple philosophy, such profound kindness. Made a decision then. He would find Kiva, he would find Kiva's people, and he would make sure they understood something important about humans. Humans never forgot a debt, especially one paid with such selfless grace. The medical facility on Earth Station buzzed with activity. Doctors moved between beds, checking patients who had returned from deep space assignments, but one bed had more attention than the others. Sat up reviewing the scans on his tablet for the 100th time. His body had healed completely. The broken bones were mended. The cuts were closed, but the doctors were puzzled. You should have died, Dr. Minu said, looking at the medical reports. The cold alone should have killed you within hours. The blood loss should have finished the job, but you survived for 3 weeks. I did not survive alone, said quietly. Someone helped me. Yes, the alien you mentioned, but our analysis shows something incredible. The medical treatments used on you were advanced, very advanced. Some of the techniques we do not even use yet. Frowned, the equipment looked old, basic. Maybe, Dr. Minu said, but whoever used it knew exactly what they were doing, and they used their own supplies to save you. We found traces of the medical compounds in your blood. They were expensive to synthesize, rare materials. After the doctors finally cleared him, went straight to see his sister. Worked in the intelligence division of the Human Federation. If anyone could help him find Kiva, it was her. His office was small and cluttered with data screens. She looked up when entered and immediately stood to hug him. You look good for someone who nearly died, she said, but her eyes were wet. I need your help, said. Of course, anything. I need to find someone, an alien named Kiva, and Kiva's people. Sat back down and pulled up her computer. Tell me everything. Explain the whole story. He showed her the recordings from his suit's damaged camera. The footage was broken and unclear, but it showed Kiva working to save him. It showed the supplies Kiva had brought. It showed the sacrifice. Watched in silence. When the recording ended, she wiped her eyes. "This Kiva asked for nothing," she said. "Nothing." Kiva left before the rescue team arrived. Did not even want thanks. Began typing rapidly. "Let me search our contact database. Every known species, every ship that has passed through that region." Hours passed, waited anxiously as searched through massive amounts of data. Finally, she leaned back with a troubled expression. "I found them," she said, "but this is not good news." "What do you mean?" Turned her screen toward him. "Kiva's people are called they are refugees. They lost their home world decades ago in a territorial conflict. Now they live on 3 colony ships, just 3 ships for their entire species." "How many?" asked. "About 50,000 total, and they are in trouble. They are being pushed out of their current territory by a species called the Compact. They are aggressive. They have been taking resources, blocking their travel routes and making threats." Felt his chest tighten. "Where are they now?" "Near the border of neutral space, far from our territory, far from any allies." Pulled up more data. "They have no military, no weapons. They survive by avoiding conflict and moving when threatened, but they are running out of places to run." "Can we help them?" "That is above my level, brother, but I can tell you this. The Federation does not usually get involved in conflicts outside our territory. It is complicated, expensive, politically difficult." Stood up. "Then I need to talk to someone with authority, someone who can make decisions." "Like who?" "A politician. They will debate for months." "No," said, "like Admiral." His eyes widened. "The Admiral of the Fifth Fleet. You cannot just walk into a fleet admiral's office." "Watch me." Getting an appointment with Admiral was indeed difficult. Had to pull every favor he had. He contacted his old professors. He reached out to researchers who knew politicians. He even wrote directly to the Admiral's office, explaining his situation. 3 weeks later, he stood outside the Admiral's office on a military orbital station. Admiral was a tall woman with gray hair and sharp eyes. Her uniform was covered in medals from decades of service. She gestured for to sit. "I received your messages," she said. "You are very persistent." "Admiral, I need to show you something." Played the recordings from his suit. He explained everything that happened. He showed the analysis from the doctors about how close to death he had been. Admiral watched without interruption. When the recording ended, she sat back in her chair. "This Kiva saved your life," she said. "Yes." Using supplies they could barely afford, risking their own safety, asking for nothing in return. "That is correct. And now these people are being threatened by the Compact." My sister confirmed it. They are refugees with nowhere left to run. Admiral was quiet for a long moment. Then she stood and walked to the window. Outside, ships moved in formation, practicing maneuvers. "Mister," she said slowly, "do you know how many species are in conflict in this galaxy? How many groups ask for our help every year?" "I understand there are many. The Federation has rules. We do not interfere in every dispute. We cannot save everyone. Resources are limited. Political capital is limited." Felt his hope sinking. "I understand, Admiral, I just thought." But Admiral turned to face him. "We also have values. One of our core values is loyalty. When someone helps us, we help them back. When someone shows us kindness, we return it tenfold." "Admiral." "They helped one of our people when they had no reason to. They sacrificed their own resources. They expected no reward. That tells me something about their character." Admiral pressed a button on her desk. "Get me Ambassador, and I want a full briefing on the Fifth Fleet's readiness status." A voice responded through the speaker. "Yes, Admiral, right away." Looked at, "You wanted help. I am going to do more than help. I am going to send a message." What kind of message? The kind that makes it very clear what happens when someone shows kindness to humanity. The compact is about to learn an important lesson. Admiral, I do not understand. Smiled, but it was not a warm smile. It was the smile of a predator. You saved one human, she said. We saved you. Now we are going to save all of them. That is how humans work, mister. Touch one of us, help one of us, and you have touched all of us. The entire Fifth Fleet is going to pay the visit. The entire fleet. Admiral, is that not too much? The helped me, yes, but... Mister, there is no such thing as too much when it comes to repaying a debt of honor. The will learn something today. When you help a human, you do not get a thank you card. You get a fleet. You get protection. You get family. Felt something swell in his chest. Pride, gratitude, hope. When do we leave? He asked. We, Admiral raised an eyebrow. I want to be there. I need to thank Kiva personally, properly. The Admiral considered this, then nodded. Very well. You will travel with us as a civilian representative. Go pack your things, mister. The Fifth Fleet leaves in 72 hours. Where are we going? To show what human gratitude looks like, and to show the compact what happens when they threaten our friends. The 3 colony ships drifted through the darkness of space like ancient whales swimming through an empty ocean. Each ship was huge but old, with patches covering hull breaches from decades of travel. Inside these ships lived the last of the people. Kiva stood in the observation deck of the second colony ship, looking out at the stars. The view was beautiful, but Kiva could not enjoy it. There was too much worry weighing on everyone's minds. Kiva, a voice said behind them. Elder Bora entered the observation deck slowly. The elder was old even by standards, with skin that had faded to almost white. The council needs you. What is it now? Kiva asked, though they already knew the answer. They have sent another message. Kiva followed Elder Bora to the council chamber. The room was simple, with seats arranged in a circle. Other council members were already there, all looking tired and afraid. Elder Bora activated the display screen. A face appeared on it that had features like sharp angles and cold eyes. This one wore the uniform of a military commander. I am Warlord of the Compact, the recording said. You have been traveling through space we claim as our territory. This is unacceptable. You have 24 hours to make a choice. Surrender your ships and technology to us, or we will take them by force. The recording ended. The council chamber was silent. Can we fight them? A younger council member asked. Elder Bora shook their head. We have no weapons, no military training. They have 12 warships surrounding us right now. Even if we wanted to fight, we would lose in minutes. Then we run again, another member said. We leave, find another path. Where? Bora asked sadly. We have been running for 40 years. Every time we find a place, someone pushes us out. We are low on fuel, low on supplies. Our ships are falling apart. We cannot run forever. So we surrender, Kiva said quietly. We give them everything, become their servants. What choice do we have? Bora replied. If we fight, we all die. If we run, we die slowly. At least if we surrender, our people survive. As slaves, Kiva said bitterly. As alive, Bora corrected. Sometimes that is all we can hope for. The council talked for hours, but Kiva already knew the outcome. They would surrender. They had to. They had no other options. Kiva left the council chamber and walked through the colony ship's corridors. Families passed by, going about their daily lives. Children played in the common areas. People worked in the gardens, growing food. They did not know yet that everything was about to change. Kiva thought about the human they had saved weeks ago. That was his name. The translator had finally managed to catch it from his suit's computer before Kiva left. Had promised rewards, he had promised help, but Kiva had not saved him for rewards. Helping someone in need was what anyone should do. It was not special, it was just right. and anyway was far away now, back with his people. Safe. He would have forgotten about Kiva by now. Humans probably had important things to worry about. They would not care about one small species of refugees. Kiva, a young, ran up out of breath. Come quick, the sensors, you need to see. Kiva followed the young one to the sensor station. The operator there looked confused and frightened. What is it? Kiva asked. Ships, the operator said. Many ships, they just appeared on our sensors. Reinforcements. No, these are different. The computer is trying to identify them now. The operator pressed buttons. Data scrolled across the screen. Then the operator went very still. Kiva, these are human ships. Human? That cannot be right. We are far from human space. I am reading 47 vessels. Military configuration. Led by 3 Dreadnought-class warships and a carrier group. They are massive. Kiva felt their hearts beating faster, had 2 hearts and both were racing now. Where are they? Coming toward us fast. Alert Elder Bora, alert everyone, this could be. Wait, the operator interrupted. They are broadcasting a message on all frequencies. They want to speak with us. Put it through. The communication screen activated. A human face appeared. It was a woman in a military uniform covered with medals and insignia. Her expression was calm but determined. This is Admiral of the Human Federation 5th Fleet, the woman said. We are looking for a named Kiva. We have traveled far to find them. Please respond. Kiva stared at the screen in shock. The human fleet had come looking for them, for Kiva specifically. Elder Bora rushed into the sensor room, along with other council members. They all stared at the screen. This is Elder Bora of the people, Bora said into the communication system. I am the leader of our colony fleet. Why are you looking for Kiva? Because Kiva saved the life of one of our people, Admiral replied. A man named. We have come to express our gratitude and to repay our debt. Before anyone could respond, another voice cut into the communication channel. It was harsh and angry. Human vessels, this is Warlord of the Compact. You are interfering in matters that do not concern you. These refugees are in territory we control. Leave immediately. Admiral's expression did not change. Warlord, I am Admiral. Let me explain something to you. One of those refugees saved a human life. That makes this very much our concern. That makes them our concern. Do you understand? They are nothing, said. They are weak. They have no home. They have no allies. They have allies now, Admiral said, and her voice was cold as ice. They have us. And I suggest you look at your sensors and count my ships very carefully before you say another word. Kiva watched the sensor display. They had 12 warships. The humans had 47, and the human ships were larger, newer, more heavily armed. This is not your territory, said, but his voice was less confident now. You have no legal right to. I have the right of gratitude, Admiral interrupted. The right of honor. The right of repaying a debt. These people helped us when they had every reason not to. Now we help them. That is how humans work, Warlord. Perhaps your people could learn from it. You cannot protect them forever, growled. You will leave eventually, and when you do. Let me be very clear, Admiral said, and now her voice was sharp. You have 1 hour to withdraw your ships from this area. If you are still here after that hour, my fleet will consider it an act of aggression, and we will respond accordingly. You are threatening war over refugees, over worthless. Over friends, Admiral corrected. Over people who showed kindness when it mattered. Over people who have more honor in one gesture than your entire fleet has in its existence. Now you have 59 minutes, Warlord. I suggest you use them wisely. The transmission cut off abruptly. Kiva and the other stood in stunned silence. Elder Bora spoke first. Admiral, we do not understand. Why would you risk conflict for us? We are just refugees. We have nothing to offer you. A new voice came through the speakers. A voice Kiva recognized. Elder Bora, this is, I am traveling with the fleet. Is Kiva there? Can I speak with them? Kiva's voice failed them for a moment. I am here. Kiva, thank goodness I found you. I kept my promise. You brought a fleet, Kiva said weakly. I saved one person. You brought an entire fleet. Yes, said simply. That is what humans do. You saved me, you asked for nothing, you expected nothing. That is exactly why we came. Now please let us help you. Let us repay what we owe. Kiva looked at Elder Bora, at the council members, at the sensor operator. Everyone looked as shocked as Kiva felt. One gesture of kindness, Bora whispered. One simple act, and an entire human fleet came to our doorstep. On the sensors, the ships were already beginning to move away, retreating from the overwhelming human presence. Kiva felt something they had not felt in a very long time. Hope. The command bridge of the flagship Indomitable hummed with quiet efficiency. Admiral stood at the center, watching the tactical display. Around her, crew members worked at their stations, monitoring the fleet and the warships that surrounded the colony ships. Captain approached from the weapons station. He was a veteran officer who had served with Admiral for 15 years. Admiral, the ships are holding position, reported. They have not moved to leave, but they have not advanced either. They are testing us, said calmly, waiting to see if we are serious. Are we? Asked quietly. I mean, I know the orders, but starting a conflict with the Compact over refugees, the political situation could become complicated. Looked at her captain. Do you have the recording that brought us? Yes, Admiral. Play it again, on the main screen. The tactical display changed to show the broken footage from suit camera. The crew on the bridge had seen it before, but they watched again in silence. Kiva entering the wrecked ship. Kiva working for hours to stabilize. Kiva giving up their own supplies, their own oxygen reserves, their own safety for a stranger. When the recording ended, spoke to the entire bridge. That had every reason not to help. Their people are poor. They are refugees. Every supply is precious to them, but they helped anyway. They asked for nothing. They expected nothing. They did not even stay to be thanked. She looked around at her crew. Now tell me, officers, what kind of people would we be if we did not repay that? What kind of species would we be if we let someone who showed such kindness be threatened by bullies? No one answered. They did not need to, could see it in their faces. They understood. They made a mistake, continued. They thought these refugees had no one, but they have us now, and I want to make that very clear. She turned to the communications officer. Open a channel, all frequencies. I want everyone to hear this. The and anyone else who is listening. Channel open, Admiral. His voice rang out across space. This is Admiral of the Human Federation 5th Fleet. To the people, we thank you for the kindness one of your people showed to one of ours. We have come to repay that debt and to offer you the protection and friendship of humanity. To the Compact, you have 30 minutes remaining. Withdraw now or face the consequences. The communication officer signaled. Admiral, Warlord is responding. Put him through. The Warlord's face appeared on the screen. His angular features were twisted in anger, but there was also calculation in his eyes. You are being foolish, Admiral said. You risk war for people you do not even know, for refugees who have no value. They have value to us, replied, and we do not measure friendship by what someone can give us. We measure it by character. These people have character. What do you have, Warlord? Threats. Intimidation. I have 12 warships, said, and you are far from your home. If conflict starts here, it could escalate. Your superiors will not thank you for starting a war. My superiors understand something you clearly do not, said. Loyalty matters. Honor matters. These helped one of ours when they had no reason to. That makes them worth protecting. Now you have 28 minutes. His eyes narrowed. You are outnumbering us now, but the Compact is vast. We have hundreds of ships. You cannot stay here forever. Maybe not forever, agreed. But we can stay long enough. And more importantly, every species in this sector is watching right now. They are watching you threaten refugees. They are watching us protect those who showed kindness. Which example do you think others will follow? For the first time seemed uncertain. You would really fight for them, risk your ships and crews for refugees. Without hesitation, said, that is what humans do. We take care of our friends. We remember those who help us. And we make sure everyone knows what happens when you threaten someone under our protection. A new voice interrupted. Admiral, I am in the shuttle bay. Request permission to travel to the ships. Permission granted, said. Captain, have an escort squadron accompany his shuttle. Nothing happens to him. Yes, Admiral. On the tactical display, a small shuttle launched from the Indomitable. 6 fighter craft formed up around it protectively. The shuttle headed toward the second colony ship. Warlord watched this on his own screens. You send your civilian to them. Are you showing off? No, said. I am showing them respect. Wants to thank the person who saved him. That is important. More important than this conversation with you. You have 25 minutes, Warlord. His face disappeared from the screen. Captain moved to stand beside the Admiral. Do you think they will actually leave? He asked quietly. They will, said. Is a bully, but he is not stupid. He can count. 47 ships against 12 and he has no support nearby. Plus, he knows we are serious. Humans do not bluff about things like this. And if they do not leave? His expression hardened. Then we show them exactly what happens when someone threatens our friends, but it will not come to that. Values his ships more than his pride. On the shuttle, watched through the window as the colony ship grew larger. It was beautiful in its own way, despite the patches and wear. It represented survival, endurance, hope against impossible odds. His communication panel activated. A face appeared on the screen. Kiva. Smiled widely. Kiva, I finally get to thank you properly. Kiva looked overwhelmed. You brought a fleet, an entire fleet. This is too much. I only helped one person. You helped the right person, said. Or maybe the right species. We do not forget debts, Kiva. We do not forget kindness. You gave me everything you could when I had nothing. Now we give back. But the danger, the risk, what if the attack? Then we fight, said simply. That is what friends do. They protect each other. Friends, Kiva repeated the word carefully. We are friends. Of course, you saved my life. That makes us more than friends. That makes us family. Kiva's large eyes were shimmering. Realized that was crying. He had never seen an alien cry before, but emotion was universal in its power. I do not deserve this, Kiva said quietly. You deserve more than this, replied. But this is a start. Now let me land so I can thank you face to face, and then we need to talk about the future. The future. Yes, because you and your people are not going to run anymore. You are not going to live in fear. Humans protect their friends, Kiva, and you are definitely our friend. Back on the Indomitable, the tactical officer called out, Admiral, the ships are moving. Watched the display. The 12 warships were breaking formation. Slowly, they began to turn away from the colony ships. They are withdrawing, Captain said with satisfaction. Maintain alert status, ordered. I want sensors on those ships until they are out of range. If they try anything, we respond immediately. The crew watched as the fleet moved away, faster and faster, until they jumped to faster-than-light travel and disappeared. The bridge erupted in quiet celebration, but remained focused. Communications, open a channel to the Elder. Elder Bora's face appeared on the screen. The old looked stunned. They left, Bora said. They actually left because of you, because of what Kiva did. Because of what friends do for each other, corrected gently. Elder Bora, we need to talk about the long term. We'll not forget this. They may come back. We need to make sure you are protected. We could not ask for more than you have already given. You are not asking, we are offering. Humanity would like to extend an invitation. We have territory with good systems for colonization. We have resources, we have protection. If you wish, the people could settle under our protection. Build a real home, not colony ships, but planets, cities, a future. Bora was silent for a long moment. Why? Why would you do this for us? Because Kiva showed us who the people are, and we want people like that as our neighbors, as our friends, as our allies. Smiled. Besides, this is what humans do. We collect friends. We protect what is ours, and you are ours now whether you asked for it or not. That is just how we work. The shuttle docked with the colony ship, stepped through the airlock and saw Kiva waiting there. They stood looking at each other for a moment, and then stepped forward and did something that made Kiva freeze in surprise. He hugged them. "Thank you," said quietly. "Thank you for my life." Kiva's 4 arms slowly wrapped around in return. "I only did what was right." "I know, that is exactly why we came." They walked together through the corridors of the colony ship, noticed how worn everything was. The walls were patched, the lights flickered, everything spoke of poverty and struggle, yet the people they passed smiled. Children played. Despite everything, they had maintained hope. In the council chamber, Elder Bora and the other council members waited, bowed respectfully to them all. "Thank you for seeing me," he said. "I wanted to speak with you about the Admiral's offer." "You mean the offer to settle in human territory?" Bora asked. "It is generous, almost too generous. We do not understand why you would do this." Sat down. "May I tell you a story about humans?" "Please," Bora said. "Thousands of years ago on our home world, humans lived in small groups. The world was dangerous. There were predators, harsh weather, and many threats. Humans survived because we formed bonds. We protected each other. When one person helped another, the whole group remembered. The whole group repaid the debt." Looked around at the council. That behavior is still in us. It is part of who we are. When someone shows us kindness, we do not just thank them. We bond with them. We make them part of our group. And once you are part of our group, we protect you with everything we have. "But we are not human," Kiva said quietly. "That does not matter," replied. "Kindness is universal. Character is universal. You showed both. That makes you worthy of friendship. The fact that you are different species is irrelevant." Ambassador had arrived on another shuttle. He entered the council chamber with data tablets and official documents. "Elder Bora," said formally, "I am Ambassador of the Human Federation. I am authorized to present you with several options for the future of the people." He activated a display showing star systems and data. Option 1. We can escort your colony ships to a safe system within our borders. You can continue your nomadic lifestyle, but with our protection. Any species that threatens you will face the full might of the Human Federation. Option 2. We can help you establish a permanent settlement. We have identified 3 star systems with suitable planets, good atmosphere, water, resources. We will provide the initial infrastructure, supplies, and protection while you build. After that, you maintain full sovereignty over your worlds. You govern yourselves. We simply ensure no one bothers you. Option 3. You can become a full member species of the Human Federation. This comes with all benefits of membership, including trade, technology sharing, and military protection. You would have representation in our government and full rights as Federation citizens." The council members looked at each other in shock. These were not just offers. They were life-changing possibilities. "How much would this cost us?" Bora asked carefully. "What would you want in return?" Smiled. "Your friendship. That is all. We do not demand tribute. We do not take your resources. We simply want allies who share our values, people who believe in helping others, people who do what is right even when it is difficult." "This seems too good to be true," one council member said. Species do not do things without expecting something back. Most species do not, agreed. But humans are different. We invest in relationships. We build long-term alliances. 1,000 years from now, we hope the Inhumans will still be friends. That is worth more to us than any immediate payment. Kiva spoke up. What about they will be angry, they will not forget this. Will we bring trouble to your Federation? Let them try, said simply. The Compact has been a problem in this region for decades. They bully smaller species and take what they want. We have been looking for a reason to push back against them. You have given us that reason. We will use it. Admiral's voice came through the communication system. Elder Bora, this is Admiral. I want to add something to what the ambassador said. The Fifth Fleet will remain in this region for the next 3 months. We will make sure your transition to a new home is safe. And after that, we will establish a permanent defense station nearby. They will learn that space is protected space. Elder Bora looked at Kiva, then at the other council members. May we have time to discuss this? Of course, said. Take all the time you need. We are not going anywhere. The council talked for hours and waited patiently outside the chamber. Finally, Elder Bora emerged. We have decided, Bora said. We would like to accept option 2, a permanent settlement. Our people have been wandering for too long. We want a home, a real home, but we want to maintain our independence, our culture, our way of governing ourselves. That is completely acceptable, said, smiling. We will start preparations immediately. Over the next 3 months, the Human Federation moved with incredible efficiency. Scout ships surveyed the chosen star system. Construction ships began building initial infrastructure. The Fifth Fleet maintained constant patrols, ensuring no one interfered. The colony ships traveled slowly to their new home, escorted by human warships. It was the safest they had felt in decades. Stayed with them the whole journey. He and Kiva spent many hours talking, learning about each other's cultures, becoming true friends. I still cannot believe this is happening, Kiva said one day as they looked at the new planet on the. It was beautiful. Blue oceans, green continents, white clouds. Believe it, said. This is your home now, and humans will make sure it stays your home. When they finally landed on their new world, they wept. They touched the soil with their hands. They breathed the fresh air. Children ran through grass for the first time in their lives. A ceremony was held to mark the founding of the new settlement. Elder Bora spoke to the gathered crowd of both Inhumans. We came here as refugees, Bora said. We came here expecting nothing, but we found something we never expected. We found true friendship. We found a species that values kindness above profit, that values honor above convenience. Bora turned to Kiva. One of our people performed a simple act. They helped someone in need. They expected no reward. They wanted no recognition. But the humans taught us something important. No good deed is small. No act of kindness is worthless, because that one gesture brought us here, to safety, to hope, to home. The crowd erupted in cheering, both Inhuman voices mixing together. A memorial was built in the center of the first city. It was simple but beautiful, a statue showing a helping a human. The inscription read, "To Kiva, who showed that kindness needs no reason. To humanity, who showed that gratitude has no limits. May all species learn from both." 5 years passed. The settlement thrived. The population grew. Children were born on solid ground for the first time in generations. Trade developed between Inhuman worlds. Cultural exchanges flourished. Kiva had become an unofficial ambassador between the two species. They traveled between Inhuman worlds, facilitating communication and friendship. One day, Kiva was visiting Earthwith. They stood in his sister's office, looking at a new situation on the intelligence screens. Another refugee species explained. They are called they are fleeing persecution. They have nowhere to go. Kiva studied the data. They were in desperate need, just like they had been. We should help them, Kiva said without hesitation. Smiled, I was hoping you would say that. But I am not human. I cannot speak for your Federation. No, agreed, but you can speak with us. You can help us understand them, and you can show them what we showed you. That kindness exists in this galaxy, that some species will help just because it is right. Kiva looked at the memorial image on the data screen. The statue of themselves helping, now famous across both human and space. You changed us, Kiva said quietly. My people used to believe we had to be cautious, that helping others was too risky, but you taught us that building connections is never a risk. It is an investment in the future. And you taught us that our values matter, replied. That kindness should be rewarded, that good people exist everywhere and it is worth finding them. Admiral's voice came through the communication system. She was still commanding the Fifth Fleet, now permanently stationed near space. Kiva, I just received word. The Federation Council has approved aid to the refugees. We are sending ships to escort them to safety. And Kiva, they specifically requested that you be there. They want to meet the person whose single act of kindness started all of this. Kiva felt their two hearts beating fast. Me, but I am not important, I just helped someone. That is exactly why you are important, said warmly. You represent the best of what friendship can be. Now go show another species what that means. As Kiva prepared to leave on the mission, they stood once more looking at Earth from the orbital station. So much had changed from that day they found a dying human on a remote moon. They had expected nothing from that act, but they had received everything. A home for their people, safety, friendship with one of the galaxy's most powerful species, and a purpose. Stood beside them, ready. Ready, Kiva said. Let us go show the what we learned, that kindness needs no reason, and that humanity never forgets its friends. They walked together toward the shuttle bay, two members of different species, bound by a friendship that had changed the fate of millions. Behind them, on screens throughout the station, the memorial statue was displayed with its inscription visible, a reminder to everyone who saw it. A single gesture of kindness brought an entire human fleet to their doorstep. And it had only been the beginning.